Hello everyone, welcome again to a new video. In this video, we are visiting LA. So we are driving over from Las Vegas and we stopped by Barstow's for a quick lunch at the place where they have all the meat, also known as Arby's.
French dip, turkey sandwich, small fries, a classic.
After a very long drive, we finally made it to LA. We stayed at Doubletree LA and we got the Queen Bed Suite. We've read multiple reviews about how good their cookies were,
We have a cookie.
so we made sure to go to the front desk each day to ask for cookies. Once we were all settled, we hopped back in our car and headed straight to the TCL Chinese Theater. We spent a good 30 minutes in the area looking for handprints of familiar celebrities. Then we walked towards Vision Hollywood while looking at the various stars in the Walk of Fame. I didn't expect the atmosphere of the Walk of Fame to be so chaotic. Half the streets were covered by various booths. Then foot traffic was pretty heavy too, so we had to kind of walk with the flow according to people around us. You should be able to see the Hollywood sign in Ovation Hollywood, but since when we arrived it was already pretty dark, we couldn't see a thing. Take note, the Hollywood sign does not have lights on, so apparently I went to LA and Hollywood without ever seeing the sign. After Ovation, we went straight to the original farmers market, but before that we had a detour to Beverly Hills and Rodeo Drive just to see what it's like. Then once we got to farmers market, our group separated and went on our own way to see what we wanted to order. The market houses a large variety of merchants. There were stores that sold food, others sold art, houseware, clothes, accessories, a little something for everyone.
Pasta. It was delicious. Very cheesy. Very warm. It tastes like Old Spice. Tiny slice of donut. Donut's good. Pasta. Salad.
Right beside the farmers market is the Grove. So right after dinner, we went to the Grove to walk around and see what we could buy. We bought some chocolates from C's because C's, where I'm from, is 2 times more expensive than it is in the States. So yes, we bought a lot. On our way back to the hotel, we stopped by Leo's tacos truck for some tacos. And since this was just a little late night snack, we ordered one for the 4 of us. We also ordered a cup of champurrado, which is a Mexican chocolate drink with spices. For breakfast, we decided to go to Grand Central Market. It was around a 10-minute walk from our hotel. The market opens from 8 in the morning to 9 in the evening. This is my dad's order. He ordered some Chinese food, and then I ordered a smoothie bowl from the juice, and then some pastries and hot choc from the store right beside the juice called Bastion. I'm kinda just realizing that my smoothie bowl looked so dull, but I swear it was refreshing. We also had to buy eggs though. Right across the market is Angel's Flight. This costs about $1 each way. We didn't ride the railway, but instead we walked up the stairs on the side of the railway right to our next destination, the Broad. We booked tickets a month before our trip. It's free of charge, but the reservation slots do fill up early. Our reservation was supposed to be for the afternoon, but since we made last minute changes to our plans, we decided to try and see if we could still visit. We were able to enter the museum, but we were not able to visit the Infinity Mirror Room. After this, we visited this little garden back at our hotel. It's a very serene and picturesque area. We drove 2 hours to Mount Baldy. We wanted to play with snow, especially since we live in a tropical country, but the weather wasn't in our favor. Mount Baldy was literally bald. There was no snow, just a small patch of snow up the mountain. But being able to ride a ski lift up the mountain and play with a little snow was still a great experience. So do check the weather before you visit. We were also recommended Mountain High and Wrightwood, but it was a longer drive, so we chose Mount Baldy instead. But the weather might be more favorable up there. During our visit, the ski lift stops operating at 4:30 or 4:45, so we immediately had to get down. But the time does vary, so you might want to check their website. For dinner, we were meeting with some family, but since we arrived early in the area, we went to Erwan. We bought some fish and muffins, which in hindsight were not worth the price, but I still think Erwan is a free tourist attraction if you want to go just for the sake of visiting. And if you don't buy anything, it's free. And we saved the best for sort of the last. We still have 2 days to go. But on this day, we visited Universal Studios. It was so much fun. We purchased the Express Pass so that we could ride as much rides as we could. And we did end up riding almost every ride. But finishing every attraction with the Express Pass is very possible. After a little research, we found out that the Jurassic parking is the best place to park because it's the cheapest parking, closest to the park. And then, if you're aiming to visit the park at rope drop or early in the morning, another helpful tip is to start at the lower lot of the park because it's the furthest, then slowly work your way up. Our favorite ride was the Jurassic World ride. We rode it 3 times, once during the day and 2 more times at night. The feels of the ride felt more realistic at night though, so if you have extra time, you might want to go back to the lower lot to ride this at night. Plus, wait time is literally a minute or two. Nintendo World was unbelievable. The entrance to the world was so well made. You could visibly see and feel the change in atmosphere as you move from one world into Super Nintendo World. We waited a bit to take pictures with the Toad, and then we rode the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. And I think that's the ride with the longest wait time, even with the Express Pass. I didn't understand how to play, so I apologized to whoever was playing with us because the person got the highest points and we did very bad. My favorite part of this ride is probably the queues. The queues leading up to the ride was well decorated. You wouldn't get bored waiting for your turn to board the little carts. Then we were also able to watch the Waterworld show. The show was so good. I remember watching this when I was younger, and then right after this, my brother and I played a game of tag in the playground, pretending to be part of the Waterworld set.
Watching this as an adult though, I'm still so impressed and amazed by all the effects, the acting, the stunts. Just wow. Oh my god! We were also able to ride the studio tour. My dad, who is always the one carrying our bags and just standing around when we go to amusement parks, he got on with us to the studio tour and he was impressed. Like I could see the look on his face. He was impressed with all the effects, set and everything. So I can say this is one of the must rides in Universal Studios Hollywood.
But you may be recognizing this area if you're a fan of NBC's The Good Place.
That place.
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
George, sweetie, get out of the water. George! Oh, George, no. Up into the air and it falls down naturally like real rain. The combination of all of these effects together make it look very realistic. But if I hit this button right here, all of these turn off at the same time. So get ready. And off. Huh? Sorry about that. I said, and off. 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 Okay, sorry, we're having some technical difficulties. It seems like the button doesn't want to work right now. But everyone, please stay seated because if I leave the water on too long, we'll have a flash flood. But the shipping and handling is always where they get you.
We had a very late lunch in Krusty Burger. Burger was good, yes. But look at this donut. It's ginormous. I loved it. It's not dry. It's actually really good. Very happy with this purchase. Next, we headed towards the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and we went on the flight of the Hippogriff. As someone who gets motion sick easily though, I don't think I was able to fully appreciate all the rides and the experience in Universal Studios. More than half the rides I noticed were 4D rides. So basically you're in a cart, staring into a screen with 3D glasses on, then the cart shakes. It was very nausea-inducing, and so I had to skip the Minion Mayhem and the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. But it's okay because I've already tried them in Osaka. I already knew I was gonna get motion sick. So in exchange, I rode the Secret Life of Pets. It's a rather tame but very cute ride. After the ride, we were able to catch the Grinchmas tree lighting.
Give me a Bouchy she.
All the who's in Hoover watched the snow falling down.
On our way out, we were able to see Donkey.
Damn cute. Yeah, grab a bit and take a picture. Perfect.
Since we got the express tickets, we were able to go through all the rides by 8 p.m. We then headed to City Walk for dinner. We found this Pokeball place called Uncle Sharky. The food was really good. We love a good Pokeball and this was good. Then we did a quick run to Target to do some last minute shopping. The plan for the entire day was to meet with some family. Nothing much happened, but do not exit off this video. I want to share our food. It was delicious. Everything we ate was so good. We had lunch at a Chinese restaurant called Lunasia Dim Sum House. The restaurant's located in a shopping complex, and there was an Amazon supermarket, so we visited that. Then we went to Crumbl. Everybody waited for me to buy the cookies that were not worth the hype. I'm so sorry, the cookies do not justify its craze and popularity. Like, they were almost below average. I did not enjoy. But anyway, after that, we visited Costco. And then, for dinner, we had Vietnamese fusion over at a restaurant called Nep. Food there was delicious, and we all ate to our heart's content. We ended the night with a quick run to 7-Eleven that was across our hotel. Now the one we've been waiting since the beginning of our trip, Disneyland. We found out that the best parking was in the Toy Story lot. By parking here, you can ride the bus straight to the park, then enter through a separate security and ticketing gate. So this makes the line so much faster. Then once you get in, you can go to either California Adventure or Disneyland, whichever you bought tickets to. For this day, we bought the Park Hopper, so we visited both parks in one day. We started with California Adventure, used our Fast Pass for Incredicoaster, then got out single rider here in Radiator Springs. I love this ride so much. This was hands down one of my favorite rides. You can see that Disney actually paid so much more attention to details. This ride usually has a really long queue, so people recommend to ride this at the beginning of your trip. Next, we got on the Pixar Pal Around. I have seen so many videos of people riding this, especially on TikTok, and it got me so curious to know what it's like to be on a swinging, moving Ferris wheel. I honestly just got dizzy, but I don't regret riding this. It's still one of my must rides.
I'm telling you, folks, Toy Story Midway Mania is more fun than a barrel of monkeys.
And then Incredicoaster was incredible. So much fun. I love the thrill of it. The roller coaster went so fast. I do not know how else to express how much I love this ride. Next, we headed to the port of San Francisco. We visited the Boudin factory, and at the end of the factory, you could get 3 pieces of Boudin sardo. So we had to get them. I love them. It was so good. Then we got on the Spider-Man ride through the single rider. The wait time was pretty long even for a single rider. I don't really know the reason why, but I think there was a technical difficulty right before we got on it. That's why the line took a very long time. So initially, I wanted to show you guys how this game worked. I wanted a good shot, but I got extra competitive, so we got this shot instead. But anyways, I guess it paid off. I got the highest in our cart. After this, we moved on to Disneyland. There were some photographers outside Disneyland that would take photos for you, and you can get them for free through the Disney app. Once we got in the park, we immediately got on Haunted Mansion. Again, the animatronics, the attention to details. Truly an amusement park.
We will continue your holiday tour momentarily.
Then we moved over to Star Wars Galaxy Edge for a quick lunch. Next, we got on the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run using our Fast Pass. So this ride can sit 6 people, 2 are drivers, then 2 shooters, and then the 2 at the back. I don't remember what specific role they have, but they do nothing exciting. The drivers get to control the ship. The shooters get to shoot. I was a shooter, but I couldn't see what our target was, so I just kept pressing the button. I think if you were to ride this ride, if you get the option, go for the driver because that's more exciting and a bit more interactive. Next, we got on the Pirates of the Caribbean. I was very surprised with this ride because there were a few drops. It's just small, but I was not expecting this from a Rivery Dark ride.
Search all you want, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Right after that, we got on the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. We got there right in time just to see Eeyore. And then we headed to It's a Small World, one of Disney's classic. I have to say, this is the perfect ride if you're probably riding with older people or even the younger ones because it's low, the animatronics aren't crazy, and it's honestly such a soothing ride. And additionally, some may be able to even take a short nap. Mom. But kidding aside, this has to be one of the must rides here in Disneyland. Next, we got on the Matterhorn bobsled. Fun fact, this is the very first tubular steel coaster in the world. Then we walked all the way to Tomorrowland to ride the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. Again, one of our must rides here in Disney. Also in Tomorrowland is Star Tours. This is one of the 4D rides here in Disney.
We were also able to ride Space Mountain.
And then we got on the railway in the Tomorrowland station. Apparently, it brought us to Grand Canyon. I didn't know this was a thing. I thought the only view you'd get from the train would be the park. So by this time, we thought we would be able to ride Tiana's Bayou. I recall getting fast passes for that, but then the person up front told us that we would get wet, and it's winter. We didn't want to get wet. So we decided to wait for the fireworks, and we were pretty much right in time for the fireworks. I wish we could have seen the fireworks from the castle, but this was the closest to us, and this is also one of their viewing areas. When the fireworks ended, we made our way to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Once you get on this coaster, you're supposed to be on the lookout for this globe, and then you're supposed to stare at it as you drop down because it's supposed to make you feel a lot more woozy and dizzy.
Hey, Michael, mi amigo. Pay
And then we
attention,
ended our trip to
showtime.
Disneyland with Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, one of the attractions Walt Disney actively participated in creating. It was so good. People around us were also singing along. If you've noticed, we barely used our fast pass, but we were also visiting two Disney parks in an extremely busy day. I've read multiple reviews about people completing everything they wanted to ride in Disney with their fast pass and single rider though, so I guess it's pretty possible. But for us, I wasn't able to ride the Rise of the Resistance. Kinda sad. But oh well, maybe there's next time. Finally, we had a really late dinner in downtown Disney. And this concludes our trip to the States, a dream turned reality. To be able to travel to a place halfway across the globe. We all had a great time, a good holiday from our reality. Absolutely grateful for the opportunity to be able to visit all those three places, a memory we'll definitely cherish.